Alright guys, so you guys may have heard of that YouTube is now removing dislikes from their platform. Now, I personally think that this feature is pretty horrible because one of the things that dislikes are good for is if you're watching a tutorial, for example, you can look at the like or dislike ratio to see if the video is, for example, worth your time or if the video is like good enough. This can be used in like a lot of different videos. If you see a video that has a lot of dislikes, then you know that the video is probably not worth watching. Plus, the dislikes feature has been in YouTube for years now, and removing this is not very good in my opinion. And YouTube actually made a video about this called Update to YouTube's Dislike Count. I've not seen it yet, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a watch and give you guys my opinions.
Hey folks, you may have seen a while back that YouTube announced it was experimenting with making dislike counts private to only the creator of the video. Now, if you're like me, you were surprised by that. I mean, I've always thought seeing the number of dislikes on a video helps us know as viewers if it's a good video or not, if it's a helpful tutorial or not, or if what a creator is saying in their video is generally agreed with or not. But
exactly. That was literally my point. Then why are they still removing dislikes?
unfortunately, research teams at YouTube have found there's this whole other use for disliking a video that I had never experienced as a creator, and you may not have either. Apparently, groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning it into something like a game with a visible scoreboard.
Okay, I can definitely see where this is being used. This is one of the examples. This channel is called That Vegan Teacher, and this channel is massively hated by a lot of people. If you just click on one of their videos, you can see that the like to dislike ratio is like massive. There's a lot more dislikes than likes, but this all makes sense because That Vegan Teacher is so massively hated. It makes sense that their videos have that many dislikes. I mean, people wouldn't just randomly click on a video and just decide to dislike it for no reason. All of the dislikes are there for a reason. So yeah, he has a good point, but I personally would not dislike a video just for my own enjoyment. I would only dislike it if it's actually bad. So he has a good point, but it's not like a very good point, if you know what I'm saying.
And it's usually just because they don't like the creator or what they stand for.
Yeah.
That's a big problem when half of YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice. So earlier in 2021, YouTube experimented with making the public dislike count private to see if it would help reduce these coordinated dislike attacks across the platform. And after analysis, they did see a reduction. So the update from YouTube...
Well, obviously, because if you can't even see the amount of dislikes a video has, then you wouldn't really dislike it, would you? You would just kind of leave it there because nobody else is going to see it.
Is that the dislike button is staying, but the dislike counts will now be private. You can still dislike videos, and that action will be used to tune your own recommendations, but you won't be able to see the dislike count. Only the creator can find it on the back end if they want. Now, a few common questions we saw from the initial experiment. First, without a public dislike count, how can viewers tell if a video is worth watching? Again, I kind of had this question too, but it turns out that while viewers might use the dislike count to give them a sense of a video's worth, when the teams looked at the data across millions of viewers and videos in the experiment, they didn't see a noticeable difference in viewership, regardless of whether they could see the dislike count or not. In other words, it didn't really matter if a video had a lot of dislikes or not, they still watched.
Okay, this isn't really relatable to me. When I see a video with lots of dislikes, I usually just click off because I know the video is probably not going to be worth my time. But I will still watch some videos, but the majority of the videos, if I see a lot of dislikes, then I'll usually just click off.
Next common question. If creators can still see the dislike count on the back end, how's that any different? They can see it if they look for it inside Studio Analytics under the Engagement tab. But overall, it's much less likely to cause stress and embarrassment if the count isn't visible to the public.
Well, the creator himself can still see the amount of dislikes that the video has, so it can technically still cause stress and embarrassment to the creator.
And one more common question, is this because YouTube Rewind got lots of dislikes?
Okay, This is what I was thinking before. See, this is very funny because YouTube themselves got YouTube's most disliked video. Maybe they decided to do this in the first place because their own video is the most disliked video on their platform. So maybe that's why they would do this in the first place.
Now, although there are some teams internally who have learned the hard way what it feels like to get lots of dislikes. Now, this again is about protecting all creators and making sure they have a chance to succeed and feel safe in doing so. All right, so that's the update. I hope it doesn't cause too much frustration. Honestly, I think you're going to get used to it pretty quickly, and keep in mind other platforms don't even have a dislike button.
Well, that may be true. For example, platforms like TikTok, they don't have a dislike button. But the dislike button has been on YouTube for years, and this is like a part of YouTube. So I don't see the point of privating it or removing it.
So consider that. Thank you, and I hope you're well.
Okay, now this video has some pretty good points, I would say. But I personally think that this feature is only going to help scammers and clickbaiters. Because one of the biggest things that dislikes are used for is to see a video is worth watching or not. So if you're, for example, watching a tutorial like I said before, and you see a lot of dislikes, then obviously the video is not going to be worth your time. And if they private it, then you won't know if the video is worth watching or not. So you'll just end up wasting your time. And another thing they didn't mention in the video is, could you still make dislikes public? They did not mention that in the video. So you cannot make dislikes public on your own video, even if you wanted to. I'm getting that kind of impression right now. Okay, they actually answered this question. They actually have a FAQ in the comment section right here. It says right here, why don't you just make this optional for creators? This is optional for creators today. But we've seen that when creators choose to turn off likes and dislikes on their videos, they can be bullied and harassed for their decision. So, in my opinion, because turning off likes and dislikes is already a feature, I don't really see only turning off dislikes being like a very good feature. And if you enable likes, but turn off dislikes on your video, to me, that just looks like a cowardly move. And I'm pretty sure more people would be harassed and bullied if they leave the likes public, but private the dislikes. Overall, I personally think this is a pretty horrible feature. This is definitely one of YouTube's worst updates, if not the worst update. Personally, I think this is a pretty terrible update, but you guys can have your own opinions. You guys can leave a comment down below and give me your opinion on why you think this is good or why you think this is bad. But anyways guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because only a small percentage of viewers are actually subscribed. But yeah guys, thank you for watching. I'll link this video in the description so you can watch it for yourself, and goodbye.